I'm Nick Petrarca. I'm here at the EWG Mercury. I'll have my panelists introduce themselves.
I am Mr. Rounds, a teacher here at EWG High School.
I'm Adam Reese. I'm a junior here at EWG.
Bob Pagazzi, history teacher who does not hate.
Sergeant Peter Petrarca with the West Greenwich Police Department on long-term assignment working with the school system, and I also do not hate.
Yet today is National No Hate Day to fill some of our viewers in. Now, before we begin, we must, we're going to go to a short video.
A local anchor in Pittsburgh was fired after she posted stereotypical comments about black individuals on her public Facebook page. Now, like most public figures, she has a public page that anyone can read, including her fans, and she's had some choice words for members of the black community. Now, let me give you some more context into this story. There was a terrible shooting that occurred in a Pittsburgh suburb. In fact, reports say that by the end of this ambush that occurred at a barbecue, 4 people were injured and 6 were dead, including a woman who was 8 months pregnant. The assailants fled the scene, leaving 48 shell casings behind. Now, understand that at the point that the anchor, Wendy Bell, made her statements on Facebook, police did not release a description of the suspects. We had no idea what their race was. We didn't know if they were men or women. We knew no information about them whatsoever. Now, 2 weeks after the attack, Bell wrote on her professional Facebook page, "You needn't be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts. They are young black men, likely teens or in their early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs. These boys have been in the system before. They've grown up there. They know the police. They've been arrested." All right, so she's already concluded that the assailants are black. She's already concluded which age group they're in. She's already concluded what their family history is. All of this before she has any evidence or any information on who the actual suspects are. So, of course, that's problematic. If you're a private citizen who writes these things, it's obviously questionable, it's not a good idea. But it's definitely horrible when you're a reporter and you're already drawing conclusions and you're pushing these stereotypes in a public forum. So as a result, she got fired. She also talked about how she and her husband went to a restaurant and they encountered a black employee there, a young kid. And she wrote, "This child," she said, "balanced 10 glasses in one hand and a pile of plates in another. He wiped the tables, tended to the chairs, and got down on his hands and knees to clean the floor."
Now that our viewers get the gist of what we're talking about, we're going to be mainly focusing in on racial profiling, whether or not somebody of a certain color or race should be treated any fairly or less fairly than anybody else. To start off, I'll ask the police officer, Sergeant Petrarca, his views on the matter.
Well, clearly no one should be doing racial profiling. I know that in my profession we are accused of that often. But what we look at is we look at behavior, we look at patterns of behavior. So, for example, if we have a suspect that we're looking for, and the suspect may have gray glasses, black jacket, and wear a red shirt, well, that's what we're going to be looking for. So we look at patterns, we look at behaviors. No one should ever make any kind of automatic judgment and assessment based on racial profile, maybe religion, maybe color of skin, maybe whatever it may be.
Definitely, I respect that. Mr. Brown, do you have anything to add to that? Or?
Well, we'll go back to the story itself for a second. First of all, being a reporter on the news, you have to be careful. You have a right to your thoughts, obviously. When people throw things out on Facebook and Twitter, and without realizing that a lot of people are going to be reading that, and I think she got herself in a lot of problems, a lot of trouble. Obviously, she lost her job. So it's something people have to be aware of. They have a right to their own thoughts, and if you read the rest of the story, she actually had a logic behind her statements. And again, I'm not saying I agree with them necessarily, but when you just throw a quick hit on Facebook, that's what people see, and you have to be careful.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But as you said, you're a reporter, so people rely on you to get the news they need, and they honestly trust you to be as honest and judgment-free as It's a very tricky
That's
job.
that's impossible. But
Yeah.
I don't think that she meant to be racist though. I think it was just she didn't like think before she spoke, or was it a post or did she say it on air?
she said it on a post on Facebook.
I don't think she really put any thought into thinking what it may have like been like the cause of, but I feel that some people may have gotten too offended by this as well, because some people try to look for this kind of stuff and try to pick fights with other people. You know, you've got that whole Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter feud that goes on with things. In my opinion, there should be no superior race or religion or any of those kind of things. We were obviously created equal, and that's how everyone should be. So,
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So I have to disagree with you, not about the whole racist being equal thing, but about the woman, right? Because that's the problem, right? You said she didn't think. She said something that was racist. There's no question about it, and that's because unconsciously she is, okay? Because she thought that it was going to be black kids, right? Now it may very well be black kids. I don't know if they caught them or not, but it may very well not be. She's, her suspicion may be that, but that's how systematic racism works, right? Somebody gets shot, oh, it's the black kid's thing, okay? And so, yeah, I would say, and she happens to be a news anchor, and so what is the news concerned about? They're concerned about their image in the community, right? So that's why they fired her, not because they really necessarily care about that stuff, aside from, what image are we portraying. So, I don't know if firing was the right thing to do, maybe that this could have been a occasion for dialogue. People could talk about that. Why
yeah, especially for how long she worked
Why did I
there.
think that? Why did I automatically think that it was going to be these kids? Well, because at least she is part of a system which is basically a white supremacist system. It has been for 400 years.
Yeah,
Well,
I kind of sorry. I kind of agree with you on that, because about the statement like she shouldn't have been fired, because she's been working there since 1998, I believe, and for as long as she worked, yeah, what she said was wrong, but like I said, I agree that she really, I feel that being fired really was a little uncalled for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. When you have that much experience under your belt, I definitely wish you should not have said that. And that was a very quick judgment, very, but you gotta have some, working there since, what was it, 1998?
Yeah, 1998.
You have some experience there. I mean, she obviously knows what she's doing to be there for that long. And one mistake shouldn't define her whole career, I feel.
Right, I agree.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to the EWG Mercury. Now, to start off, I want to talk to you since we're talking about racial profiling. How does the media influence what you do as a profession?
Very much so. Within my profession, right now, the media is so anti-cops. Almost every single night, they focus on one mistake or another. Yes, do professionals within my industry make mistakes? Yes, they do. And every single night, it is on the news. I read an article about a week and a half ago in regards to medical mistakes made nationwide. The article stated that approximately 87,000 mistakes are made every single year throughout the medical profession. And that includes doctors, nurses, and so forth. 87,000 a year. To me, that's newsworthy. Yet the media doesn't focus on the simple article that I read. They focus on mistakes that police officers make. And do police officers make mistakes? Of course they do. And are there racist police officers? Of course. Racist judges? Yes. Racist reporters? Yes. That's the unfortunate existence of humanity. But Most of us racist? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I watched the nightly news the other night in Chicago, because I watch the news a lot. In Chicago, crime in Chicago is up like 87%. And they try to figure out why is crime up 87%. It's police officers now, the good police officers, which are most of them, now are hesitant to do their job because they're fearful. Someone's going to be capturing them doing their job. Instead of capturing the whole from the beginning to end, people only capture this portion. That's it. That's what they show the media, and all of a sudden the media portrays it as being all these terrible things.
Yep.
So now
There was a video I saw. There was a video I saw a while back. It was this officer taking this kid into custody, and he was refusing, and he kept like pushing the officer away. And I think he was like 8 years old or something, and the officer ended up just like hitting him in the face, like he just slapped him. But the person that was recording kept like saying that's abuse, you know, that's you're just abusing your power and everything. But the kid was refusing, and the officer did have a right. Technically,
Can an 8-year-old pull a trigger? Yes. Can an 8-year-old stab? Yes. Can is an 8-year-old capable of murder? Yes. And if you don't treat that 8-year-old those possibilities, and I didn't see the video, I don't know, I don't know if it was a slap. Then all of a sudden, if you treat it too lightly, you're going to get hurt, and others are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And that applies to anything else that we deal with. We deal with behavior. We deal with criminals. A lot of times, a lot of those videos that you see on nightly news, and the police may be using excessive force or maybe not, those are criminals. And people forget that. Those are criminals. I mean, they're not an average Joe Schmo walking down the street, and all of a sudden we decide to just slam them, cuff them, and beat the heck out of them.
I have to disagree. Actually, there's many instances of that happening all over, especially in big cities, where total harassment of communities. The last one that was just on was the mailman that yelled at the cops because they almost ran him over. And
Well, you know what? Those are isolated times, and I agree with it. Are they bad cops? Absolutely.
Isolated times. In New York City,
In New York City,
that happens 100 times a day.
Then you know what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are you
Are
going
you
to
going to
do?
handle the law enforcement on your own? And
No.
when you call 911,
No.
who's going to come?
No. What you're going to do is you're going to retrain the police officers not to act in a way in which they are constantly
You are
attacking.
implying that the majority of police officers behave that way, and I completely disagree with all
I
due
think
respect.
that I don't think majority, but you know, there's 20,000 police officers in New York City, right? How many of them does it take to behave that way? How are they trained? Are they
If
trained?
less than 1%
As-
behaves that way,
as-
first of all, it's not acceptable. If less than 1% behaves that way, it's not acceptable. You train 99% to do what they're doing right.
They will.
For example, if you have one bad teacher in the school, you retrain every single teacher, or you just handle out one teacher that may be doing something inappropriate.
That's a good point.
The police officers are trained
Of course, I
to
train.
escalate, incorrectly trained, to escalate violence, to resort to deadly force much too quickly.
Well, then what you don't
to
understand is the
intimidate.
profession. The profession is we have aggression. Our profession is we deal with criminals. Our profession is we're not counselors. We deal with aggression every single day. Someone's breaking into your home with a gun. You call 911. How do you want us to handle that? Do you want us to go in and try to counsel them? Do you want us to go in there and say, it's okay, it's all right, it's okay, but you have issues, I understand. Or do you want us to protect you and your rights and your entire family? And what does it take to do that?
I definitely think that no matter what job you're in, there's always going to be people that are bad at it or who are not too, good at the job. But it's a tricky question to answer because in every profession there is one. But I do think the news tends to focus on cops because, as you said, out of all the professions, no real professions have that much aggression. Like, most teachers don't really have to handle students with aggression. Most milkmen or whatever, newsmen don't have to. Their job doesn't rely on them being forceful, whereas police officers it does. So it's easy to
We
demonize.
need aggression. The example I always give is this. You're going to get a dog to protect your house. Okay, what kind of dog are you going to get? You're going to get a little teacup poodle to protect your house? Or you're going to get a German Shepherd? You're going to get a German Shepherd. In my profession, we can't be the teacup dog. Because if we are the teacup dog, then we're not going to be able to protect your rights. And we're going to get hurt, and people are going to get hurt. My profession is aggression. We need to be aggressive. We need to use force. Because if we don't use force, then who is? The person breaking into your home, who's going to stop you if it's not the police?
It seems unlikely the police would stop somebody breaking into my home. But
That's
kind of a different.
Well, that's a little insulting.
If I'm calling you, somebody breaking into my home, they're already coming for me.
Well,
So that's
okay.
not that you're gonna like ignore my request.
Thank you.
But, okay. There's a big difference between a teacup dog and a rabbit Rottweiler. All right.
Of course, there's somewhere in between.
The line isn't. If the line, I think there's documentary evidence. The line is far too much toward the aggressive side, especially in the rural communities.
Maybe it's society issues that's forcing us to do that.
Well, I think that politically,
maybe it's the economic issues, and maybe it's the social issues that are forcing my profession to be more aggressive.
well, I would say that it's the political issues and the war on drugs that have, basically, you have a crime that's committed by white people, exactly the same rate, but black people are arrested 4 times as often.
So let me ask you this, okay? So if you have a population, an area where the population is 90% black, hold on a second, 10% white, yeah, those statistics will be absolutely correct. But if you have a population where it's 90% white, 10% black, and then all of a sudden you have a higher percentage of whites being arrested or blacks being arrested, then that's going to be looked at.
That's what always happens.
People will look at percentages and they don't understand the whole dynamics and they don't understand the whole area where this percentages come from. I had a professor, and I don't mean to interrupt, I had a professor once at Providence College. It was the statistics class. And he had said to us, the best way to cover up a lie is through statistics. So whenever somebody throws statistics my way, I say, well, where are these numbers coming from? What's the pool?
So I think that that's true, but I do understand the statistics, and the statistics are quite clear that police officers are directed to police minority communities much more harshly and to arrest people.
That's an opinion.
No, it's not an opinion, that's true.
We focus on criminal areas.
No,
there happens to be minorities in that
the area becomes criminal because the police are there arresting them. We know that whites and blacks smoke marijuana we know that white people and black people smoke marijuana at roughly similar rates. But black people are arrested 4 times more often.
And why is that?
Because the police harass them. How many students have been arrested at Exeter West Branch and gone to jail?
I definitely agree. I agree with both of you, but it's very tough because there is no right or wrong answer. I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. Thank you, WG, and have a wonderful day.